It's Saturday. It's 8 p.m. This is Forged from Iron. It's our pre-match discussion for match day 38 of 38 of our Premier League season. And 1 year on from, obviously a year ago, when we were taking on Aston Villa in a dead rubber for us, you know, we were sort of at the wrong end of the table. And here we are, ladies and gentlemen. We're sixth. And we could tomorrow, with 1 point, secure Europa League qualification and finish ahead of Spurs and finish ahead of Arsenal. It doesn't get much better than that, does it? Joining me today to discuss this, ladies and gentlemen, I've got Andy Miles. How are you, sir?
I'm aching, mate. I'm starting to feel the legs like shriveling. Do you know, like the throbbing sort of feeling? But no, it was good to be back on the field, mate.
You've been playing games of
7
football.
aside. Yeah, mate, it's the best feeling ever. It was only like friendlies, like, do you know what I mean? It was everyone who we know, and it was like the old school pick numbers. Like, that's our old school we go. Pick numbers. And no, we were the underdogs in both games. And the first game, I actually lost both games, actually, of the teams I was on. But both games were the underdogs. But both games were but I was a full kit wanker as well. I promised, didn't I? I sent you the picture. I was full kit wanker.
You sent me the photograph. Yes, you, ladies and gentlemen, he was definitely a FKW. He definitely was. You know,
but no, I enjoyed it.
Mate. He had the full home kit. You probably had the home kit jockstrap as well, didn't you?
I had Declan Rice's captain's armband as well.
Oh, Jesus. You really do take it over the top sometimes. Richard's in the building. Yeah. Hello, Richard. Hope you're well, sir. European tour, guys. Yes, we are. We're going to do Albania, Kazakhstan,
night out in Dublin,
Georgia, all of the really exotic places. Joining me for that from another part of Europe than England, we have from sunny Ireland, Cathal McKernan. How are you, sir?
I don't know about that one, Gatesy.
I might have been using a little bit of artistic license.
Yeah, just a wee bit there. I'm also in the Andy Miles sort of bracket there. I'm also aching. I've gone from 6 months of sitting on my hole to training 5 nights a week, and it's hit the weekend now, so my body's feeling it. And training at 11 o'clock tomorrow morning as well, and have to be there. So I'll be even more pain after that.
Dedication.
So
dedication. But you're young enough. You'll recover. You're a youngster.
I'll recover.
Lawrence is in the building from Auburn, Alabama, USA, ladies and gentlemen. How you doing, Lawrence? Glad you're back. We've also got Peach in the building. Peach is in the building.
Peach is in the building. La 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 la. La 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 la.
One and only. And finally, ladies and gentlemen, to complete the quartet, joining me here tonight, how are you, sir?
I'm very well, thanks, Gatesy. I'm a bit annoyed, actually, because I'm aching and I haven't done anything. At least these two have got a reason.
You're aching for sitting on your backside?
Oh, yeah. No, actually, moving around these days, I suddenly find that sort of my joints and stuff ache. So, yeah, it just takes an awfully lot longer to recover. I mean, I played some golf about 5 days ago, and I'm still recovering from that. So, yeah.
I'm not looking forward to getting into my 50s now, Steve. I'm really not. I mean, my 40s, to be honest. I don't know about you guys, but well, you two are younger, so you won't know. But Steve, people were sort of telling me when I was in my 30s that you know, life begins at 40. All I found when I turned to 40 is that my body started falling to bits.
Yeah. Well, as I said to a friend of mine who just turned 40, I said, you know, physically, the gap between 30 and 40, virtually nothing. The gap between 40 and 50 was massive for me.
Oh,
you know, in terms of what I could do and recover.
Not what I want to hear.
So
it's not what I want to hear.
And between 50 and 60 is the next big one. It hasn't been any better. So what can you say?
Dear, oh dear. Wally's in the building as well. How you doing, Wally? Hope you're well, mate.
Sorry, can I just say something,
Hashtag free
Gatesy?
Fredericks.
Yeah, can I just say something, Gatesy?
Fire away.
Congratulations for 357 subscribers.
Yes. And I've got a little bit of a confession to make. We was on 349 this morning, and I had a chat with my dear cousin Daisy, and she may well be watching. And if you are, Daisy, I hope you're well, sweetheart. And only 6 more weeks, and then you'll be able to move around a little bit more, more smoothly than you are right now. She's heavily pregnant with her second child. And so I turned around to her and said about the channel and how it was going and all the rest of it. I discovered to my horror that my dear cousin wasn't a subscriber. So I said to her, well, listen, we're on 349 right now. So if you get a move on, I'll send you the link and you can be the 350th. And she was the 350th subscriber. But here it is, ladies and gentlemen. My cousin Daisy is a Millwall fan.
Oh.
There you go. How do you like those onions?
Not really.
Exactly. Yeah, it is, isn't it? Boom. 350th subscriber was a Millwall fan, ladies and gentlemen. But, she's my cousin. She's my cousin and I love her. So there you go. So anyway,
congratulations.
Happy Hammeret's in the building as well. So and it got better because last time I checked, we went from 350 to 357.
Yeah,
it's not bad, is it? Not
That's
bad
great.
in a day. There
It's
you
that
go.
3.5 hour episode last night what's done it. Everyone's still sitting there watching it.
Epic. No, she's not my ex-cousin. No, she's lovely. I say she's a Millwall fan. She's a Millwall follower, very tentatively. I wouldn't
Even
say
their
she's
own
a fan.
fans are a bit shaky on them.
Yeah. So, I say fan, that's probably a slight exaggeration. So anyway, we've been chatting for 7.5 minutes about nothing in particular. Shall we get on to what we're actually here to cover?
Welcome to Forged, everyone.
That's it. We waste time talking about all sorts of nonsense here. So, we're just mates. We're all together and we're having a bit of fun. So tomorrow, the small matter at London Stadium of our final game against Southampton. And as things stand at the minute, barring us losing, Everton winning, and there being a 9-goal swing in their favour, we've definitely got European football of one way, shape or form. If we get a point tomorrow, then it's guaranteed. If we get all 3, then we're going to finish 6th, and it doesn't matter what the teams behind us do. That's not bad, is it? Not a bad way to finish the season, is it?
It's all right.
Well, it wasn't what you were expecting at the beginning of the season, surely, Milesy.
No, I was hoping for 12th and above. Realistically, that's what I was. Yeah. That's what I was hoping for. I'm not going to lie. So, no, it's all good.
Your thoughts?
No complaints from me.
No.
Especially looking at a few of the teams that could possibly be. Yeah, especially looking at a few of the clubs that could possibly be under us. It would only make it a bit sweeter. So there'll be certainly no complaints on my end.
Yeah, definitely. And exactly what Happy Hammeret's just said there. We want 6 and Spurs to miss out. Well, those of you that know, my wife is a Spurs fan, so I got to be very careful what I say because she's right over there. But you're right.
It's all
right. Steve, I mean, this is a million miles away where we are 37 games into the season and we're talking about get 3 points, qualify for the Europa League. I mean, you wouldn't have dreamed of that at the beginning of the season. I don't care who you are.
I'll be honest with you, Gatesy. I thought we only needed 1 point for Europa League.
Well, no, we need one point to qualify for definite for Europa League. I think it is, but I don't think we can aim for that. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah,
third will definitely nail it.
Okay, fair enough. Yeah. No, I couldn't. If somebody had told me we're going to the last game, we'd effectively qualified for Europe already, barring a 9-goal swing, and Europa League was good. There's a very high chance Europa League. I think I'd have laughed.
Mm.
And if somebody had said to me, sort of in March, you'll be in the top 4, I'd have gone, no, what have you been drinking?
Yeah. You've been sniffing the Bostik again?
Yeah, because we've gone from, quite frankly, some really, really abject performances under Pellegrini.
Oh, yeah.
Last season, where you sat there and you just cringed. And I remember saying to James, my boy, when we lost a couple of games, what really, really annoys me is they're not putting the effort in. So where we are now, where you've got headless chickens like Fornals running around, he just doesn't stop. Souček doesn't stop.
No.
Soufal doesn't stop. The change, I can't get over it. And see, I'm now in a very confused position because I'm happy with the team. I'm happy with our league position. I'm happy with the club. I'm happy with the players. All these feelings are completely alien to me as a West Ham fan at the end of the season.
It is a bit odd, isn't it?
Yeah, I don't know quite what to do, to be honest. But no, brilliant season. I've loved it. And what can you say? Brilliant signings by Moyes that weren't overly expensive. And obviously a fantastic team spirit that's got us to where we are. Brilliant.
Yeah, it's been one hell of a ride, and we just got one more step to take into dreamland. And yeah, absolutely couldn't.
We need to take advantage of Southampton's injuries tomorrow.
Oh yeah. Okay, so let's get the graphic up on screen then, shall we? I'll go full screen with it. This is a prediction. This is not definite, ladies and gentlemen. I'm not connected to David Moyes or anything like that. This is just me having a little play around. This is my thoughts on the team that's going to take to Southampton or against Southampton at London Stadium tomorrow. Personally, I don't think Fabianski will come back. I think it will be Darren Randolph. And to be fair to him, I know some people probably sort of like ask questions of the goal that we conceded at the Hawthorns, but it was a cracking corner, to be fair. It was moving, it was bending, it was moving at pace. He's got a player in front of him that's going for the ball, got the merest of feathers on it. Could he have done better? Maybe, maybe not. But he made a couple of good stops to keep the score down at that point. And then obviously we went ahead, equalised, went ahead. So those saves proved quite critical. So if he stays between the sticks, I'm not actually overly concerned. And the back four, everything else, I think probably picks itself more or less. The back four, Cresswell, Ogbonna, Dawson, Soufal, pretty much standard. Declan Rice and Thomas Souček, the deep-lying midfielders, again, pretty much standard. Antonio up front, standard. Probably the only argument will be the 3 offensive midfielders. I believe it will be Fornals, Lingard, Benrahma. But you could make a case for Bowen coming in and players shifting around. So, who would drop out if Bowen came in? Would it be Benrahma? Would it be Fornals? Would it be Lingard? Who knows? But that's largely the team that I suspect is going to take to the field at London Stadium tomorrow. So, Andy, your thoughts, please.
I like it, Gatesy. I do, and I think Moyes has found a trick with Benrahma on the right.
Yeah, I think he's better there.
I think he's a lot better. Obviously, he got the assist again the other night, and I think he's more danger. And I know a few players have said it. His work rate, and I think if he doesn't track back, Soufal's got the pace, he's got the strength, and he's got the experience, so he doesn't need to come back as much as what he would on the left-hand side. I think that's why Fornals is in the side to help Cresswell out. So I think, Benrahma's got a great assist, and I've just got a funny feeling he's going to score tomorrow, especially with the crowd being there. I've just got that feeling personally, and the only thing what I will say is I think where we're at home as well, I don't know whether Moyes or anyone can have a word. I just want Antonio to stay central. I just want him to be in the box. I don't know whether Moyes and his coaching staff have actually picked it up now, because I thought, what was the game before Burnley? Everton?
No,
Not West. Yeah, whatever the game. The last game before West Brom, Brighton.
Oh, that was
Brighton. Sorry,
the Brighton game.
Yep. Yeah. So that's 2 games now in a row where 3 games including the Everton where he's done that. So yeah, that's my only thing for me, mate. And the only change I will say is, this is where Dawson come alive, the reverse fixture. So I just hope he does a repeat performance of what he's done. So yeah, no, I'm very happy with that team, but I wouldn't be disappointed if Bowen's in, but I'd love to see Ben Ryan on the right.
If Bowen did come in, who do you think's the player that drops out, in your opinion?
Ben Rama. I don't think he should be, but that's the only thing I can think of. But as we sort of say, you don't really change a winning side unless it's injuries. So he can't really. Bowen done well when he come on, but Ben Rama got the assist, didn't he? And Fornell's got. Yeah. He didn't get the assist before anyone says it. I got a few comments on West Ham Fan TV, fan cam, and I said Fornell's didn't get the assist, but he was a contributor to the 3rd goal, so that's why he probably say that. So yeah.
We've got a newbie here by the looks of things, Reese. Thanks for joining us. And he heard us mentioned on Irons United. So thank you to the guys at Irons United for giving us a shout out. It's much appreciated. I love the fact that there's this cross-pollination that's going on between all the Hammers channels. I mean, when we first started, I did kind of sort of wonder, would there be a little bit of, other channels being like, no, we're not going to promote you because you're essentially a rival, blah, blah, blah. Do you know what? Couldn't be any further from the truth. All of the guys that we've, been working with and all the rest of it and collaborated with along the way, they've all been absolutely first class. So I really do appreciate the guys at Irons United giving a thumbs up. So welcome, Reese. Glad to have you along, sir, and happy Hammerets giving him a welcome as well. So moving on. So Cathal, again, your thoughts on that lineup that I've cobbled together for us. Do you think that's largely we're going to go with, or can you see something else going out?
Yeah, that'd be my exact lineup. I think I'd say some people would want Fabianski back if he is fit, and I'm not trying to just be he's Irish but Randolph deserves to stay. And what's the point in playing well if you're not going to retain your position? He saved us in that game on a few occasions, and there was nothing he could do about that goal. And I thought he had made some world class saves. He looked comfortable. He was back kicking, and he hadn't kicked any other time he had played since he probably re-signed it. I think he had a dodgy hip or something, but he couldn't kick a ball. And so he looked comfortable out there. This could possibly be his last game for us, knowing what if we go for someone in the summer, he's not going to stick around if he's third choice. So
I said that, Cathal, didn't I? I could see him if we go for Sam Johnson. I could see him going the other way.
Yeah, you could put him in that because he'd play for West Brom. He'd be their starting goalie, and you'd get 2 years out of him maybe. So it could very possibly be his last game. Put him out in front of the fans. Give him a go. I think he's well good enough for it. He is a Premier League quality goalie. Like, he's high championship Premier League quality goalie. So I'd give him a go, and I agree with everyone else. Sort of Andy went through what's going on. I think Bowen might come in. It wouldn't be my choice, but I can see him coming on. Well, he will come on if it's from the bench or starting. He's going to play. We know that. So I agree with that lineup.
Fair enough. And same to you, Steve. Do you see that's the lineup we're going to go with, or can you see any alterations that David Moyes might be making?
That's the lineup I want. But as I said on our WhatsApp group this morning, I could see Moyes. I don't think he should do it, but I could see Moyes swapping Ben Rama for Bowen. Now,
what do you think would be the justification for that?
Oh, none whatsoever. Just that Moyes wants to do it. I cannot see why you would have Bowen in over Ben Rama, except for the fact that Moyes prefers Bowen. But Ben Rama's last game, as we were saying at the time, when he was taken off at 70 minutes, we're all sort of hitting ourselves over the head with something because why? He was the best player on the pitch. The best chance we had of achieving something was having Ben Rama on it, and we took him off. Okay, it worked out. And I would start Ben Rama. If it was my choice, I would start Ben Rama tomorrow.
Yeah.
Just seeing how Moyes has worked with him so far, I wouldn't be completely surprised if Bowen's in instead of him, even though I think that's the wrong choice. But
Probably
I think
the only thing I would say in mitigation to that, Steve, I know what you're saying, and you're right. We was on the Hammers Chat Addicts WhatsApp group, and I think virtually everyone to a man was like, what's he doing? But to be fair, when he made the substitution, it was 1-1. And we finished the game 3-1. So in a roundabout way, the substitution worked, didn't it?
Oh, it did. Yeah. And I think that's where you get the dilemma, isn't it? Because Ben Rama looked like our best player on the pitch.
Mm-hmm.
We all slate Moyes. We all slate the decision to take him off, and yet we then go and score another 2 goals.
Yeah.
So, if Moyes starts Bowen instead of Ben Rama, a lot of people will be scratching their heads. But again, it worked against West Brom, didn't it? I've given up trying to second guess David Moyes' decisions because most of them seem to be pretty good. And we've won a lot of games. And so what can you say if you put... But that's the only change I could see from that side. I mean, he's never going to drop Fornals because of his work rate.
Yeah.
And the rest of the team rather picks itself. The only thing I wish is if Fornals could finish. I mean, he is woeful in front of goal. The number of great positions Fornals takes up, the number of great opportunities, and he's just terrible.
Yeah.
It's a good thing the rest of his game's so good because if he was there to score goals, he'd never be selected. But
that's something what can be worked on, though. Do you know what I mean? That's
true.
And I feel that you can't. I know he was an attacking midfielder. I remember the goals he scored for the Spanish under 21s that tournament. That was the reason why we bought him, and everyone else was after him. But the way Moyes has adjusted him, he's not really a cam no more. And I feel
the thing is also, Andy, when we signed him, I know people might have expected more, but I looked at the stats for Villarreal. He played 70 games in La Liga, scored 5 goals. So it's not like we were scoring a goal scorer. I know it was a Pellegrini signing and all that, but he didn't have a track record. It's not like he's fallen off. He never had it.
I was about to make a comment like that, Mike. I was going to say that on the basis of what I saw on social media yesterday, he clearly scored fairly recently, didn't he?
Yeah.
It's a fair point.
But no, he can be worked on. Like I said, Gatesy, the thing what frustrates, I love Moyes' coaching staff, but if you look, you've got Stuart Pearce, you've got Nevin. Nolan's not really... all we need is a striker coach, even if it's 1 day a week. Just someone who knows how to hit the ball in the net.
Get Teddy Sheringham back in.
It sounds silly, but it will work.
Bobby Zamora. What's he doing?
Anyone who can finish.
Carlton Cole, huh?
Yeah, there we go.
I don't know about that. We said someone that could finish.
Carlton Cole is better finishing 4 downs. Now, when you take that in, when you consider that, that shows how I think how poor Downs' finishing is. Yeah, I think you can work on it. I think you can improve what he's got, but he's never going to be a natural finisher. It's never going to be. He's never going to have that extra, and that is where it's frustrating. Because if he had that, he'd have a hat full of goals, wouldn't he?
Remember how good we were under Teddy Sheringham? He was there. Was he there for? I think he might have only been there a few months. Big Sam's last season, and he left in January because he got a managerial job or something. But
Stevenage,
by January, Yeah, I think he went to a second or League Two or League One team or something. But we were top 4 in the league when he was there. I'm not saying it was all because of Teddy Sheringham, but he had lads like Ener Valencia, Diafra scoring goals.
Good point. Good point.
Yeah, it's very true.
So you guys in the live chat, if you want to give us your West Ham starting 11 that you think is going to go for, whether, you know, if it's the same as the one that I've just put up, you know, give us your formation, give us your starting personnel. Do you think Fabianski's going to play? Do you think Randolph's going to play? Do you think Bowen's going to come in? Give us your thoughts. Put it in the live chat. We'd be interested to see it. Moving on, gentlemen. I've cobbled this together for the possible Southampton team that we're going to have to face. Now, I think it's fairly safe to say, because Ralph Hasenhüttl largely goes with a 4-4-2. Now, in the last game that they played, I've got it here. They had Alex McCarthy in goal, no problem. They had Salisu at left back, and they had Stevens and Vestergaard centrally. I'm wondering tomorrow whether he might bring in Jan Bednarek and then move Jack Stevens across to left back, because he's actually played there in the when Ryan Bertrand hasn't been around.
I think that's what's going to happen as well.
I think he's going to bring in Bednarek. He's going to move Stevens across to left back, and Salisu's going to drop out. I think we're probably going to see a Walcott and Redmond on the wings. In the last match, you had Gineppo instead of Redmond, but I just got a funny feeling that he's going to go for 2 pacey wingers and really try and test Cresswell and Soufal with pace. Yeah, you're then going to obviously have Ward-Prowse in the centre, and I think he's going to go with Armstrong, and then up top, I think he's going to go with Ings and Adams. So Andy,
Gatesy,
I'll put that
Adams is
over
injured.
to you.
Yeah. So
Is he?
Romeo's out. He's out for the rest of the season anyway. Obviously, you know about Bertrand, and Shay Adams is definitely out.
Oh, is he?
So you could put the reason what I was going to say is you'll probably see Theo Walcott go up front, and Gineppo probably out on the wing. Yeah, no, fair enough. I wasn't aware that Adams was struggling, to be honest. No, I think it was a training injury, Gatesy. I think it was a training injury. What occurred? It got announced. I think it came out this morning. Actually, I think someone actually leaked it. So, but no, see, if Jack Stephen comes in at left back, Ben Rama's going to have a field day, isn't he? Really. Mm. So I think that'll be a. Bednarek is so underrated, in my opinion. He's a great. He's a class. A class. I think he's Polish. I think he's Polish. Yes, he is. Yeah. So, if, in my opinion, if it wasn't for Soufal having a good season, I could probably say Kyle Walker-Peters would have had a shot for right back. I think he's been very, very consistent for them. Obviously, he had the loan spell, but this will be the real test for Rice especially Rice, because he's still not fully fit, in my opinion. Armstrong and Ward-Prowse are workaholics, exactly the same as what Rice. So I'm really looking forward to see that battle in the midfield tomorrow. Mind you, Rice did look better against West Brom than he looked in the game against Brighton, didn't he? You could see that there's been a progression. But obviously there was the midweek game, so it's less time to recover. So I'm not trying to. Before anyone says I'm not sacking, I'm just thinking of that 3 games in a week when you first come back. But no, Southampton, I'm surprised where they are. They've got a good manager, and I think he's very underrated as a manager as well. They dropped badly, didn't they? I mean, they were up the top end of the sort of like table. Top in October, weren't they? Yeah, and then they went on a run of like 1 win in 17 or something like that. So I dread to think where they would have been if they didn't have that. But no, like I said, it's a battle for their goalkeepers as well, mate. I've said it. If any of them come up cheap, I'll take any of them, Alex McCarthy or Fraser Forster, in my opinion. They've got two very good goalkeepers as well. Fair enough. Cathal, so again, allowing for the fact that I've put Adam in, but I didn't realise he was injured. So forgive me, people. That's my fault. So if Adam is out, do you agree with Milesy? Do you think it will be Gineppo coming in and they'll move Theo Walcott alongside Danny Ings, or can you see something else being sprung by Ralph Hasenhüttl?
Is it Nathan Teller or something? His name is I couldn't really tell you much about him. I know the name, and I think people have been saying he could be playing up front with Ings, but I couldn't really tell you.
21-year-old lad. He's actually a midfielder, but I think he can play up front.
Yeah, I know. Like, I don't know too much about Southampton. They're not someone I'd be off to watch really, but I do know with the players they have, like that midfield, they're grafters. So they're going to be rough. They're going to be there. They'll foul you if they need to. They'll be willing to run. But we have lads like that who also have the talent with it. So I think if we can win the midfield, we'll win the game. And yeah, Ward-Prowse is a dangerous set piece taker, but someone like Rice or Souček on him, man to man on the pitch when it's sort of free playing football, I think that they'll take advantage of him. And I think we have a better player in nearly every position there. If you were to put them against us and put them in a 4-4-2, you'd pick nearly our player in every position other than maybe striker.
Yeah. No, I think that's a fair assessment of things. Steve, over to you. Same thing. And
on that note,
dropped out. On that note, oh no, he's back. Is it your Poundland internet again, Steve?
I've dropped out.
Oh
no, I'm back. Can you hear me?
Oh. Yeah, that's better. We got you coming through on FM.
Okay,
so same question to you, Steve. Obviously, Che Adams. Yep, fair enough. He's out injured. So again, do you think it's going to be Walker up top, Djenepo coming in, or do you think there'll be another little twist in the tail?
I think he might chuck Walcott up top. Walcott's quick. He's annoying. And we haven't got the quickest defence. But what really worries me up front is Danny Ings. Give him half a chance. It's in the back of the net.
Oh, he's gone. I was about to say,
what a mysterious man.
This could conceivably, of course, be Oh, he's back. Hang on. I was just about to say, Steve, are you still with us? Steve?
Yeah, I'm back. Yeah, I don't know what's
okay.
Mine.
That's all right, mate. I was about to say before you dropped out that conceivably this could be the last game in a Southampton shirt for Danny Ings, because once this season finishes, he's only got a year left on his contract. So Southampton are in a position they've either got to sell him or, you know, he leaves for free next summer, essentially.
Well, he has said, hasn't he? He doesn't want to renew his contract, I believe. I think I've heard that. So, yeah. But he's still going to go out and he's still going to try and play, isn't he?
Well, he's going to want to try and get into Gareth Southgate's European squad.
It's a Spurs signing in the making there. That's a Spurs signing in the making.
No, I think he'll be at City. I think he'll go there as backup for Kane. Yeah,
really?
100%.
Jeez, yeah, I couldn't see that one myself.
Only thing I'd say with that, Milesy, is that he went to a big club before when he went to Liverpool, and it never really worked out for him there.
He's not a footballer.
Not sure
he's not like this amazing footballer striker. He's a goal scorer. It's kind of like an Ivan Toney situation.
But if you're chasing the game and you want to stretch the defence, Danny Ings is probably the best at it. Probably. It depends. It depends how money grabbing he is. If City doubled his wages, don't care who you are, you'd move. Everyone's done it. Who's it? Jalbait, who's still inside. Jack Rodwell, Patrick Roberts, who's just playing for Swansea. Yeah. There's a few. Scott Sinclair. If the money's there, you go, don't you?
Yeah. But then again, it depends upon what is important to him. You know, I mean, if he wants to go to a big club and sit on the bench for probably 60-70% of the season, good luck to you. You know, and really sort of, you know, what's an extra 20 grand to a Premier League footballer or however much they'd give him. I mean, like I say, he's been in that position before when he was at Liverpool. And I know there was injuries as well that was largely played a part. But at the end of the day, he was at a big club and barely got a kick. Would he really want to go to another club like City where he's back in the same position?
I don't know. I really don't know. I'm just putting it out there that I've just seen him that he's been It depends what he wants to do, but
Come to
I think
London
he's
Stadium,
reasonable for
Danny.
Spurs.
So
Yeah,
he's
Possible.
sorry, Steve.
yeah, I'd love him as a player for us. I would not want him because of his injury record. Because you just know what will happen if he comes to us. He'll spend most of his time on the treatment table.
So this season he's played 28 games, 12 goals and 4 assists.
That's not
So
bad.
he's missed 10 games through injury though.
Yeah.
But saying that, probably Antonio has missed that, hasn't he? I'll check.
Yeah, he's probably around about that figure, isn't he? He's got to be there or thereabouts. So it'd be interesting. But then isn't he younger than Antonio? Because Antonio's what, 31, isn't he?
Yeah.
Yeah, but we don't want 2 injury-prone strikers who are just about in their 30s.
That's the thing. We've already got one that's got a questionable injury record, but there you go. But there, ladies and gentlemen, is our historic head-to-head record against Southampton, and we are 29 games ahead of them as far as games won and lost are concerned, obviously with 47 draws in between. So, and if you look at our recent record,
You can see
I think
Duke
I
smile
saw
from here.
Oh, yeah. I mean, I think I looked in the last 7 or 8 games. We've won one. We've lost one, drawn one, and won the rest. So our recent record against them is excellent.
Yeah.
It might have been Coleman there the last time we lost, was it?
I can't remember. It may well have done.
We've drawn the last few.
We've
drawn a few, haven't we?
Yeah, I think there was. I've got it here actually. I did have it as a sort of like a sort of an overlay or whatever here, but to be honest, it never came out that well. But if I just have a little sneaky look on here, our last 1, 2, 3, 4. Right, we've won our last 5 in a row against Southampton in all competitions.
Wow.
Did
Yep.
we?
The last time we lost,
I thought we drew. I thought we drew that season. The reverse fixture, didn't we?
Hang on a minute. Hang on. It might hang on. Yeah, there's a bit that's dropped off, but yeah, I think no. No, there was a draw. Yeah, there was draw, win, 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 lose, win, and then it starts to be a bit more patchy after that. So our last 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 matches, we've won 6, drawn 1, lost 1. So our recent record, as well as our historic record, everything goes in our favour. We're playing at home. We've got something to play for. They haven't. We've got a crowd behind us. Surely the odds are in our favour, aren't they?
I agree.
Yeah.
And when we last played them, they were on a good patch of form as well. And now they're they've nothing to play for. It's a good time to play them.
Yeah. And and also don't forget the last time we had, well, before lockdown, I know we had the game against Manchester United that we had a couple of hundred fans in the ground, but there's going to be 10,000 in the ground, roaring the boys on. I think that will make one hell of a difference, in my opinion. I wasn't too sure before the West Brom game that it would make an awful lot of difference as far as the players were concerned, but I got to be honest, I think I was proved wrong, wasn't I?
Yeah, I was exactly the same as you, Gatesy. I thought 10,000 might make that much difference, but the West Brom fans made a hell of a difference in that game. And
they were class, in fairness to them as well.
Oh, weren't they just? Yeah. So I think 10,000 West Ham fans will make a big difference.
Especially with something to play for. It's not just a game for the sake of it.
And no disrespect, guys. The season ticket holders who have got the tickets, I think I won't say every single one of them, but I'd say at least 90% of them are hardcore West Ham fans who want to get back to the game. It's not sometimes the tourists who you normally get. So even 9,000, let's just say 9,000 hardcore fans singing like what Rice said, I don't know whether you saw. Did I mention yesterday the Redknapp show what he was on? He had an interview. Rice was on there this week, and he was saying he said he got emotional when we played Man United at home, seeing the fans. Can you imagine what he said that? He said he had all the luck, like, you know, all the hairs and everything, and he said that, and he said he's buzzing and he cannot wait. So think so. Soufal's never played in front of fans as well. Like, imagine that feeling. Oh, I know Souček played a couple games. Obviously, Ben Rama. Like, I may sound confident, but I always think we're going to score 3. Can't remember off the top of my head how many times. I'm going for a 3-0 win again tomorrow.
Oh, that would be excellent. That would be just the way to sign off a fantastic season, wouldn't it?
Yeah, I agree with Andy. I think it'll be 3-0. I could even see it being 4, Andy.
Let's have a wager, Steve. Let's have a wager. Come on.
Cathal, give us a score prediction.
Originally, I was thinking 4-1. I'm thinking 3-1 now. I think they'll get a goal. I just think we're not that good defensively that they won't get a goal. But I think we'll be comfortable enough. I think it will just be a shaky goal, and we'll come back and we'll fight for the big win.
Yeah. I'm going 3-1 as well. I think the crowd. I just, like I say, I think that everything points to a West Ham win. I'm not just being a blinkered, biased West Ham fan. You look at our recent record, as I just said there. Last 8, we've won 6, drawn 1, lost 1. We've got a historical winning record against them. They don't tend to do too well when they turn up at London Stadium or at the Bowling Ground before that, traditionally. It's an end-of-season game where they have absolutely nothing to play for, whereas we do, and that's a big, big difference between the two teams. And there's the crowd. And I agree. I don't think that we're going to keep a clean sheet, regrettably, but I think we are going to be a team that controls the large majority of the match. I think there will be moments in the match where we are tested and maybe we look certain vulnerabilities are there for all to see. But I think that over the course of a 90-minute match, we're just going to have too much for them. And I think we're going to win 3-1. Simple as that. Yeah. And Lawrence and Mike both agree, because they've given the same score prediction, because there's Mike's. He said, oh, no, sorry, I've misread that. That's not his prediction. He was saying about the last game at London Stadium. So forgive me. That's not his prediction. However, Lawrence, I think this is his prediction. He has predicted.
I think it is Mike's prediction as well. From
it may well
from
be Mike's
Jake's show, I think he said 3-1 on Jake's show.
There you go. Now he is predicted 3-1.
Do you remember when I said Creswell was going to score a free kick the other night? How close was that the other night? Well,
that close. Well, it's a bit like Declan Rice. I mean, his penalty was that far away from being, oh my goodness, what an absolute brilliant penalty. You know, if it had been sort of like that far to the right, it hits the inside of the post and goes in.
If we get a penalty tomorrow, who's taking it, in your opinion?
Oh, I think it'd be Rice.
Do you think?
I don't think he'd drop him that quickly.
I don't think he would be like... I think if he missed it again, then I think that the question has to be asked going forwards of who is going to be our default penalty taker. But I don't think that Declan Rice is that mentally fragile that he would, at the first failure that he's had, turn around and go, oh, I don't want to do that again. Because as I say, it's not like he's blasted it, you know, and it's sort of like, you know, gone in a different postcode to the goal. He's hit it strongly. And as I say, if it had been a sort of like, you know, that far to the right, it hits the inside of the post, goes in, and we all say, oh, it was no chance for the goalkeeper getting that. It was right in the corner, blah, blah, blah. But it didn't. But as I say, if he was to miss it again, if he was to miss it a second time, then I think going forward, questions would be asked as whether he's gonna be sort of like going it. And again, and Lawrence agrees. He thinks that they will go with Rice again. However,
Souček took penalties for Slavia, so he could be. There are a few options there. It's not like that's why I was surprised when Rice was the first choice. Yeah, he can hit a good ball cleanly, but there's other lads there that you'd think of before Declan Rice.
Yeah.
So
I personally think Cresswell, I think he strikes a dead ball. I mean, you see him at corners, you see him at free kicks. He can strike a dead ball clean. So I don't really see why he wouldn't be able to do it from 12 yards in the middle of the goal. So for me, I would go Cresswell, but I've not seen Thomas Souček take a penalty. So it's kind of difficult for me to make the comparison. I've got to go with what I see. And, if Declan Rice doesn't carry on, then for me, I would go with Cresswell all day long. But as I say, that's on the basis that I've never seen Thomas Souček take a penalty. So
just talking of another player, sorry, I forgot to mention him earlier, is Lingard. Do you reckon the fans cheering on could be another reason to make him stay as well?
Could be.
Allegedly,
can't do any harm, can it?
No. Allegedly, he's already expressed the fact he wants to stay, according to X.
Yeah.
So we'll just have to see. We'll just have to see how it all pans out. The Lingard of the first 8 games you'd have paid anything for. Lingard, and I said this right at the start, let's see how he does over the period. The Lingard of the last 5 games, although he's tried hard, hasn't been as good as the first 8 games. And it's not unexpected. You can't expect to keep that standard up, can you?
Oh, yeah. I mean, the first 8 games, it was like the second coming of Diego Maradona. He was never going to keep that up.
No, I'm not saying he didn't want to. Do you reckon? Because he's done okay, he's not been a mate. Do you reckon his performances may have come off a bit as well? Because he's thinking, I want to get a move to West Ham, and my price tag going up.
Yeah, I've had
I don't think you'd be able to think like that as a footballer.
Because the way you celebrate, the way he was celebrating when that third goal went in, it's amazing. Do you know what I mean? Like it's amazing. It's just the fault. I'm not saying he is. It was just the fault, like, of why he may have dropped off as well. Because there was a lot of shows, TalkSport, etc., saying like what a steal he is. But like I said, like I would love him at the club, but the maximum I pay for him is 25 million. That's the maximum I'll go.
Yeah, I think 20 to 25 million. I think if you looked at the Jesse Lingard that played the first 8 games, you're probably saying that's a £30 million player, in all honesty. If you look at the Jesse Lingard of the last 5 games, you're probably going to say it's a £15 million player, something like that. So the real Jesse Lingard, I think, I don't think he's as good as the first 8 games made him out to be, and I don't think he's as bad as the last 5 games have made him out to be. I think the true Jesse Lingard is somewhere in between.
Yeah.
And he's not hardly played as well, so it may be like what Dawson had that spell. It could be finally kicking in.
Yeah, I mean, sorry, Steve, carry on.
Yeah, I was going to say that's why he's at West Ham. He's not consistently at that level, and that's what we get. We get players who are brilliant in patches, and we're not a Barcelona, we're not a Man City. We can't afford the likes of De Bruyne who go out and are brilliant every game, but we can get players who can influence and change the game. Benrahma's another classic one at the moment. Against Burnley, he looked brilliant. Next game, he looked awful. And then last game, he looked good again. And that is the type of player, a club our size. We get really good players, but they're good in patches. They're not good all the way through the season, and that's why Deck will eventually move on to a bigger club because he's
Steve,
good.
No, please, no.
I've seen it too often. Eventually, he will go. He'll go for a lot of money, but he will go. And I don't think it will be next season. And the reason I don't think it will be next season is because it's Nobes' last season, and I think he'll want to be around for that.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
I've said this a few times. I can still Declan Rice still being there when he's 25. He'll still have another 6 or 7 years. Why does he need to move? He doesn't need to move. And as long as we come out, maybe even at the end of the season, you never know. If he has a good Euros, West Ham put the money where their mouth is, give him the contract he deserves. Why would he need to move?
Well, they gave a 6-year contract to Saeed Benrahma. Why not give one to Declan Rice?
It gets to a certain point where it'd be sort of like a Harry Kane situation. If you haven't won anything, maybe by the time he's 28, 29, yeah. But I can see him staying for another few years.
I'll take that. 28.
So would I. Because I can see him.
But then, if you're going to do that, I mean,
I can see him thinking
be sensible about it. You put a buyout clause in the contract. Everybody else does it.
Yeah.
You stipulate in the contract. This is what he. The sort of like the bidding club has got to bid before we even enter into discussions. You don't bid that, we don't talk. Simple as that. And every player has their price. I don't want Declan Rice to go, but at the same time, I'm I realise that there has to come a point when the club's got to go, right, this is an offer we absolutely cannot refuse. I mean, whether that's 100 million, 120, 150 million, that's not for me to say. That's for the hierarchy.
The price is only going to raise. It's not going to go down.
Of course. If he goes to the Euros and smashes it up, which is not inconceivable, let's be completely honest about it. And this injury could have helped him in a funny sort of way to freshen him up and make him really go to the Euros for England and tear it up and look like a £150 million player.
I just hope that the owners at the minute, if he does leave while the owners are in charge, they don't put us getting a percentage of his next transfer, because I could see him going somewhere doing 2 moves if he did. So I just hope we're that smart as well, because if we put another percentage into that, we'll be laughing.
Yeah. Shall we go to reasons to be cheerful?
Yes.
Go on.
You're going to play the part of. You're going to play the part of Duke, Andy. Yes.
Yes.
Do you know what? I've got a load. There's a load of ones that I think is going to make you smile.
And he's going to have an Oscar coming from after this one.
Yeah. Right. Ready. Here we go. So the first one. We are unbeaten in our last 6 Premier League meetings with Southampton, winning 5 in a row before the 0-0 draw in the reverse fixture this season. Are we smiling? I think
yes.
He looks like he's happy, ladies and gentlemen. Okay, we move on. Since drawing 3-3 in May 1994 in their first such none of Southampton's last 17 away Premier League games against West Ham have ended level, with the Saints winning just 4 of those, and they have lost 13. Are we smiling?
Tizier as well, isn't it?
That was, yes. Yes, I remember that free kick. He's giving me the thumbs up, ladies and gentlemen. He's not going to start throwing things around and calling me rude names. So, next one. Since losing 3 in a row between 2013-14 and 2015-16, we haven't lost in our final league game in any of the last 4 campaigns, winning 3 and drawing 1. He looks like he's still smiling, ladies and gentlemen.
Time to make it 5.
This is going well. This is going really well. So on to the next one.
Yeah.
Let's do it. Right. When finishing a league campaign away from home, Southampton have won just 1 of their last 13 final games, drawing 4, losing 8, and they beating Manchester City 1-0 in the final game at Main Road in 2003. That's positive, isn't it?
That's good.
Yeah. Yeah.
On to the next one.
Yep.
West Ham United need a point to guarantee a top 6 finish in the Premier League. But yeah, we're going to go for the win, ladies and gentlemen. For only the second time, finishing 5th in the 98-99 season under Harry Redknapp. It will be David Moyes' best finish since he came 6th in his final season as Everton boss in 2012-13. Again, that's positive, isn't it, Milesy?
Love it.
He's still smiling. Moving on. Southampton have lost 9 of their 10 Premier League away games so far in 2021, with the only exception being a 2-0 victory at bottom side Sheffield United. And they've conceded 30 goals in these 9 defeats, scoring just 7 in return. That's definitely positive, isn't it, Milesy?
No.
Oh, come on.
No. You've spoiled
you don't
it
like
in
that one?
case. No, because it's fucking West Ham, Gatesy. Next, you probably got a fucking goal scorer, ain't you? If you got a goal scorer, blah blah blah, has not scored in the last 58 games. Welcome, West Ham United.
I think we're getting too positive here. We're getting too positive. It's overwhelming.
All right.
Yes, I agree.
Okay,
Cathal.
Here you go. Since his first Premier League appearance for West Ham on the 3rd of Feb, only Kelechi Iheanacho with 14 has been involved in more Premier League goals than Jesse Lingard with 13 goal involvements, 9 goals, 4 assists. The record tally for goals and assists in a Premier League season for a player who didn't appear until as late as February is 15 by Bruno Fernandes last season for Manchester United with 8 goals and 7 assists. Are we happy with that one?
Yeah, because probably 7 of them goals were penalties. So yeah, for Bruno
Hang on,
Fernandes.
look at this. Look at this. Epic. Why am I getting the blame?
Yeah,
I'm trying
Gatesy.
to get positive vibes going, for
Yeah.
goodness sake. I get positive things coming out and I'm getting the blame. I've got another one. Here we go. West Ham forward Michail Antonio has registered 10 plus goals in his last 2 Premier League seasons, one of only 5 players to manage that feat in consecutive seasons for the Hammers. His strike against West Brom took him to 46 Premier League goals for the club, one behind Paolo Di Canio's record of 47, which has stood since 2003. That's positive. Are we smiling still?
Yeah, he's going to score tomorrow. Tomorrow.
Okay. Now, one final little thing that we're going to discuss. Their day.
I think that's
man. This is the guy that for me.
Went.
This is the guy that for me. I'm here back. Yeah.
Yeah, you're back in the room.
Okay. Sorry about that. This is the guy that for me. If we stop this guy, we pretty much stop Southampton, don't we? He's been super impressive this season. He's got an absolute, his dead ball delivery is just something, ridiculous.
Okay.
I don't think there's too many guys in the Premier League this season that's delivered better dead balls than this fella.
Gatesy, I've been saying this for years. West Ham should sign him. I'm on about 3 or 4 years ago. I said he was the noble replacement what we were crying out for, and I know they're saying he's got a wand of a left foot. He's got a wand of a right foot. Ridiculous. Yeah. It is ridiculous. And he's the closest to Beckham. I think he hits the ball better than Beckham, like free kick wise. I mean, not saying he's better than Beckham. I'm not going that, but I mean, like from a free kick perspective, I think he's that.
Yeah. Cathal, I mean, is this the guy that you think is the danger man for Southampton, or have you got someone else in mind that you think we need to be keeping a close attention on if we're going to try and get the result we need?
No, it's him and Ings, but most things Ings will get will be coming from something James Ward-Prowse does. He's that good. I agree with Andy. I've wanted him for years. I think he has that the ethic, the workman like sort of play to him that he could play for us. He'd suit a Moyes system, and he also has great technique. He's just an all rounder. He'd be a great signing. Now he'd be someone who's worth 25. He'd be worth 25 million for you. I don't know how much he'd be valued at, and I don't know what his contract situation's like. And I know he's a local enough lad, and he's their captain, but he'd be someone to go for.
Yeah. Scott, you're late again. I don't know.
He's worked like 19 days in a row. He's 19 days in a row. Fair play. Shout out to Scott. Scott's been on a mad one. Fair play to him. He needs to get out and play some golf.
Yeah, you do, mate. I tell you what, I mean, my wife's in the food industry, and that is a tough gig. I remember, I'm going off on a tangent now. This happens a lot. So, my wife used to work in the Queen Elizabeth II Conference Centre, and she would have to leave where we live in Dartford, and all sorts of silly hours to get on the train, go into central London, and she'd be there. She could leave at like 8, 9, 10 o'clock, and she'd be sort of like leaving here at 6 o'clock in the morning. I mean, I got to be honest, the food industry, it's been absolutely battered by this pandemic. But I tell you what, you chefs and you guys that work in that industry, because I've seen it with my wife, you have my total respect, guys. So
shout out for Duke's Pub. Well done
shout
to
the Duke's Pub.
Not
oh yeah,
not just, I mean every pub as well. I've been out a couple of times. I went out with work to pub lunch as well, and right near Blackfriars on the river, and they were working their backsides off as well. So I know it's been tough, but if it wasn't for them, we wouldn't be able to go out. So yeah, shout out to all of them.
Definitely. Over to you, Steve. Is this again same to you? Is this Southampton's danger man, or again, do you have a different point of view on who we need to shackle to get the result?
If you stop him, you stop the service to Ings. Job done. I think he's brilliant. Dead ball play is unbelievable. And would I have him at West Ham in a heartbeat? Yeah, I think he'd be great for us. He works hard. His dead ball play is unbelievable. Yeah, agree with both.
How old is he now? He's been
20,
around for so long.
27? Is he
I'll have
27?
Yeah, he's in his prime.
I'll have a look.
Yeah,
He's been around. It feels like he's been around.
He's on it
for so long that he's he's been quality for years now.
Look at this one. 19 days with Scott. Kill me now. Mark, that is cheeky.
So he's 26. He's 26.
Yeah.
He's 26.
He's been around so long.
He's played 268 games, 30 goals, and 29 assists.
Yeah,
he's class. He's a class act.
Top quality player in my opinion. I think he's in sort of previous seasons. I think he's been quite underrated by probably everyone outside of Southampton. But I think this season, especially, I think a lot of supporters of other teams have looked at him and they've started to get just how good this guy actually is.
Yeah, so Gatesy.
Kent said earlier he reckons he's a £35 million player easily, and I would suggest even more than that now. I especially if he goes to the Euros and has a good tournament, you know. And I know he's maybe not expected to be a starter in most of the games, but you know, funny things happen. I mean, Trevor Sinclair, you know, wasn't in the squad originally for the Japan World Cup, and he went there and he was one of our better players.
So he's played 37 games, 8 goals and 7 assists.
Yeah, no, I and also, because you know you were saying he's got a wand of a left foot. He's actually scored with his left foot 0 goals this season.
No, wand of a right foot.
8 with he's got 8 with his right. But he's got three penalties, 4 free kicks, 42 shots, 24 on target, shooting accuracy. Look at this. This is actually really good. 57%.
Yeah.
That's nearly up there with Pablo Fornal.
Oh, well, I wouldn't say the praise is as high as that, but
I'd say Pablo has probably 75% shot accuracy. It's just they don't go in. He hits them on target.
They've not got enough punch behind them, have they?
No. He kicks like an under 11.
I'm not even too sure he's as good as that. My daughter's an under 13 player, and I tell you what, she can tank it better than Pablo Fornals can. And
leave him alone
with this one. I don't know whether this is true. Is he a Pompey fan?
Yeah, he's from the area. Yeah. He is a Pompey fan, though.
That's local enough, though, isn't it?
Ooh, how does that go down with them? I mean,
thinking was the same. Thinking was the same. I think it was the other way round. Wasn't
Harry Kane?
Yeah.
No, there was a Portsmouth who played for Portsmouth, but he was a Southampton fan. I couldn't do that.
That wasn't Darren Anderton, was it? I think that was Darren Anderton, wasn't it?
Yeah.
I got a funny feeling that was Darren Anderton.
Yeah.
Ken
Mad,
will know.
isn't
He'll
Yeah.
be in the comments in a minute. He'll tell me who it is. I'm
Right,
fairly
so-
sure that that's Darren Anderton.
I know we're going off topic again. So
Don't worry
professional
about it.
professional
They've been
football
warned.
player. Yeah, you get rejected by West Ham. The only club who will
Yep.
have you is Tottenham. Will you sign for them?
If
they're
it's
the
your
only club
career,
that had
you
it
probably have
kind
to.
of- yeah, you'd have to. You'd have no choice. If they were the only
You
club,
wouldn't step down.
No, but you're saying if they were the only club.
Okay, Tottenham, the only Premier League club who comes in for you.
Ah, right. Okay.
Sorry, I should have said that better. Sorry.
No, that's cool. Oh,
Shamrock Rovers, it is.
yeah.
With Joey.
Yeah, I'd probably say I'd probably have to find someone else like an up and coming Championship club if it was me, but you know.
Yeah, I'm the same. I'll go Championship. I would.
Yeah. Saying about the Championship, Brentford got in the final, didn't they, of the playoffs?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Swansea won just
sounded
now
like a
as well.
cracking game.
What
So
was
it's
the
Swansea
Swansea
won.
in the final, is it?
Yeah. They drew 1-1, but they went through an aggregate. But Bournemouth had a player sent off, I think, didn't they?
They did. Yes, it was Chris Mepham, ironically a former Brentford player.
Yeah. I saw Ben Rama on Instagram cheering Brentford on.
Oh yeah, fair play,
Yeah.
play. But
going off topic slightly, lads. If
Yep.
Kane leaves Spurs, where do Spurs come next season? On the basis Bale's going back to Madrid as well.
Well, apparently Song's linked with Barcelona as well.
Is he?
Yeah. Yeah.
That's going to be a lot of money
Barcelona
coming
haven't
in,
got
though.
a pot to piss in.
Yeah, that's true.
Well, they get another loan off the government, didn't they? That's how they've been doing it for years.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, I forgot about that. They'll get bailed out by the Catalan government. Silly me. It's a bit like, do you remember Real Madrid? I think it was about 20 years ago. They were about £500 million in debt, and the Spanish government bought their training ground off of them at a vastly inflated fee and let them carry on using it. It was just like, could you imagine that happening in this country? They'd be up in arms. Yeah.
Can the government buy our training ground like they've done the stadium? We'll just rent it and do a pretty world-class stadium.
How much can you get for a collection of porter cabins? Seriously.
A packet of chips, probably.
Yeah.
London retail prices.
Oh.
No, but where do you think Spurs will finish?
Well, I guess, to be honest with you, Steve, it depends, doesn't it? Because how much are they going to get for Harry Kane? How much of what they get for Harry Kane are they going to spend? Because they've got £1 billion stadium that they sat there when they put this plan together to sort of move to the Tottenham Hotspur Stadium. They were doing it on the premise that, well, we're going to qualify for the Champions League and we're going to do this and we're going to do that. They didn't
and get 200 million a year for events and everything. They were planning to pay it all back within 5 years.
Yeah, I mean, they've had a pandemic that they couldn't have planned for, and it looks like if things go a certain way tomorrow, they're not even going to qualify for the Conference League.
If they finish ninth, I am literally going around Gates's house with a West Ham flag and just laughing after the game.
See you, Lawrence. Will there be a pre-match, a post-match show? Not a pre-match show tomorrow. No, this is the pre-match show. There will be a post-match show, but we're not too sure. We're probably going to do it on the Monday evening. Again, it's just to let the dust settle. And to be brutally honest with you guys, if we was to put a stream on at the same time as West Ham Fan TV, Hammers Chat, Irons United, no one's going to watch us. And I'm not stupid. I know one's going to watch us. So there's just no point. So I might as well wait for all of the big boys to do their bits and pieces and say, okay, fine, I'll do it a day later. It's not a problem. And also, I actually think that's a little bit better because we can sort of like allow emotions to subside and all the rest of it, and really sort of get our teeth into it.
And for me to recover from tomorrow because I'm out all day tomorrow.
Well,
we'll need a video of that one, Andy.
I've got a table at Duke's Pub booked for the match, so.
Oi!
Yeah, no,
I've got the kitchen table booked. It's going to be a mad one.
I'm rushing
You're going
back
to be in front of the 42-inch TV on your wall.
Few cans of Galahad, nice warm cans of Galahad from the bottom of the bed. Some cheap beers. West Ham. European football on the way.
living
Can't
the
be
dream.
bad.
Right?
Living the
Oh,
dream.
mate.
Actually,
Well,
put it in the chat where they're watching the game, or they're going to the pub, they're watching it at
Yeah.
home. Be interested to see what everyone else is doing tomorrow.
What are
are
these
you going
pubs
to
you speak
are you
of,
going to
Andy?
be at the
What
ground?
are these pubs you speak of?
I'm going to the refreshments rooms, which is near the Old Bull in Stratford. That's the place where I've not seen them for over a year as well, and we go them to every game, and it's a great atmosphere. You get served quickly. So yeah, I'm going back to my original.
I haven't been to this one. Go on. Whereabouts is this, Milesy?
So do you know the Old Bull? Or I can never pronounce. It's not the Ye Old Bull or whatever. It's on Stratford High Street, Old High Street. I'll send you the link where it is. It's
No.
great.
Oh, I tell you where I used to go, but the pub shut shortly before
Builders.
lockdown. Yes.
Yeah, shut,
Come
didn't
out of
it?
Stratford. Yeah, come out of Stratford DLR station. It's straight across. We used to sort of rock up there because they had a pie and mash standing at the back, and we used to sit outside. To be honest, I never really went in the pub because by the time we always turned up, it was just Ramo, and with the kids, it's a bit.
Yeah, I've sent you the link in the chat, Gatesy, and it's a
Okay.
rum and cocktails place as well.
Oh, hello.
Yeah.
Hello.
You'll
my
find a
new
cheeky
tipple.
jazz in there.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. Well, actually,
Oh,
Jazz
yeah.
turned around and said he's gonna sort me out because he's what was the one? O'Neill's in Leytonstone, wasn't it, Milesy?
Yeah, we're going to go there for the West Ham Way event, aren't we? We're going to go there as well.
Sounds like an Irish pub to me.
Yeah.
Got
You're
be
gonna have
done.
to come
Yeah.
over sometime, Cathal.
Oh,
Yeah.
Yes.
don't you worry, Steve. I'll be over. I'll be over as soon as
Good
I
lad.
can.
Good lad.
Oh,
So,
but-
right. Well, I'm going to end the stream there, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you very much indeed for all of you guys that's been in the chat, that's contributing and whatever. I'm just going to put this up though. Kent's just flew in with this one. Leeds could finish on the same points as Spurs tomorrow. Yes, they could. I have pointed this out to my wife, and I got the glare.
Ninth, innit?
I got a glare. If revolts go right tomorrow, brilliant season from Leeds, and they got the fans tomorrow. I got to be honest with you. I know everybody says dirty Leeds and all the rest of it, but they are a very entertaining.
Are they
team
the
to
best
watch
promoted
under
team
Marcelo
ever?
Bielsa.
Finish wise,
Best
probably.
promoted
No,
team
Ipswich.
ever.
Ipswich.
Are we
Ipswich
talking about?
was fifth.
I was going to say, Are we
Ipswich
talking in the
finished
Premier
fifth.
League era or ever?
Yeah, Premier League. Yeah.
Ipswich
Like
finished
points
fifth their
wise as
first
well.
season, didn't?
Finished fifth, didn't they? No, hang on. Am I right in saying go right back to the beginning of the Premier League? Didn't Nottingham Forest get promoted to the Premier League and finished third in their
Kent will
first
tell us.
season? I'm fairly sure they did. It was when Collymore was there
I know
and Brian Roy.
going back before the Premier League started, I think 70s, 80s, Forest got promoted and then won the first division in their first season.
That was the other one I was thinking. Yeah, under Cloughie.
Yeah. Now,
And then just to really sort of rub it in, not only did they win the league, they then won the European Cup and then defended it the following season.
And signed the first ever £1 million player, Trevor Francis.
They did indeed. And I think they might have won a League Cup as well, but a League Cup compared to a league championship and 2 European Cups is sort of lost in the distance. So there you go. Anyway, sorry, say that again.
Never won the FA Cup. That was always his.
Yeah, that was the one thing he never won in domestic. And Kent's confirmed. Yeah, they finished third, beat Man United twice with Roy and Collymore. Yeah, I remember it. Yeah, I remember that. That must have been. I don't think there's been a team that's been promoted to the Premier League since it began in 92, 93 and have done better than that. I'm fairly sure. I mean, obviously Leicester City, they won the Premier League 2 seasons after they got promoted, but not the following season. So
Wolves finished 7th, I think, as well.
Yeah.
Seventh is decent enough, but as I say, I think third must be the record. So, anyway, we're rambling on. We've had a chat about the match. We've given our score predictions and all the rest of it. We've been going for an hour and 15 virtually. I think at this point, I'm going to say thank you very much indeed for all of you guys in the live chat, everybody that's been getting involved. Again, you know, we do this for you guys. You know, it's an absolute honor and a privilege to just sit here and converse with you guys. If you haven't already, please like the video, subscribe to the YouTube channel, hit the bell icon, and you'll be notified of any new content as and when. Please also consider putting this video and the channel link on your social media, your Facebook, your WhatsApp, your Twitter, and all the rest of it. That would be a great help.
358.
Yeah, are we on 358 now?
Yeah.
Oh my goodness, that is tip top. Before I do hit end broadcast, though, ladies and gentlemen, you do know what's coming next, and I'm gonna put it in the live chat for those of you that are still there. That there is the PayPal link for young Isla, and this is the banner. So, guys, let's try and come together and do some good. This little girl struggling. If you don't know who she is, her name is Isla Caton, and she is really struggling. She's got neuroblastoma, which is a cancer for which there is no cure on the NHS. There ain't no treatment. So in the middle of the global pandemic that we're all going through, this family have got to stop what they're doing and try and save this little girl's life by jumping her on a plane and taking her wherever they can around the world to get the experimental treatment. Really expensive, guys. Treatment, flights, accommodation, etc., etc. The bills in the UK are still piling up. You've got the PayPal in the live chat. It's all the details are in the description below the video, so you know you can help yourself on that. Copy and paste it to your social media. Keep the momentum behind it, and please consider putting a couple of bob in the tin. Anything from £1 upwards will be accepted and will be taken with a great deal of gratitude from the family. Guys, the clock is ticking, and you know time really is of the essence for this little girl. You know, I'm a father of 3, and it absolutely tears me apart to think of a family going through this, because I couldn't imagine any of my kids at the age of 6 years of age going through this. I really couldn't. Breaks my heart. So we need to try and come together, guys. And I couldn't give a monkeys whether you're a West Ham fan. I couldn't give a monkeys whether you're a football fan. I really don't care. If you've got a heart and you can empathize with this family, please do the right thing. And I thank you very much indeed for your support and time. So, guys, we are done for another show. We will reconvene after the match, probably on Monday evening, I believe, at some time, probably around about 8 o'clock, get that knocked out the way. And then that will be the season done. Hopefully, we'll be celebrating a 6th place finish and Europa League qualification, but that remains to be seen. But I'm fairly confident. So, thanks for joining us, Steve. Your time is always appreciated, sir.
Thanks for having me, and thanks to the people watching this video who are prepared to listen to me waffle on for an hour and 50 minutes. 15 minutes, yeah, talking absolute nonsense. So thanks to everybody who's watched, and thanks to all the subscribers as well.
Appreciate it. And thank you as well to Cathal.
Thanks for having me on. It's and thanks to you, Gatesy, and Andy and Steve and everyone else who's been on, and everyone in the chat. It's been a mad year, and we've gone from watching the streams to Gatesy making up a channel, and now we're on most days on talking about West Ham. It's mad to think if you thought a few months ago we'd never be at this, and we've made so many friends doing it, and it's just class. It's become part of life, and it's so much fun, and it's great to know the season's ending and we're in a positive way. So thanks to everyone, really. Yeah.
And again, it's my absolute pleasure to host you, mate. No problem at all. And anybody else that I've had along the way, I can honestly say I've enjoyed every step of the way, and every single guest that we've had on. I've loved it. So, and thank you also to my stand-in wingman, Mr. Andy Miles.
No, like I said, mate, everyone's been saying exactly what everyone's been saying, and the one thing what I do want to say is, the season, even though the season stops, the content hasn't stopped. Me and Gatesy and Duke have been talking heavily likely to keep all yous entertained over the summer, and we've got a few surprises, and we've got one in particular that we definitely want to start. So keep an eye out this week, guys, because it might not be starting, but we'll give you a little taster of what's to come. So thank you for everyone. Yeah,
all good. So, ladies and gentlemen, thank you very much. I'm going to roll the credits and then hit end broadcast. But guys, stay safe. Andy, what you got to say?
We are fucking massive, and 6th place is coming to West Ham United tomorrow. Come on.
Let's do this. Come on, you Irons.
Come on, you Irons.